Hello, Diane. Check, check. So these are the two shots I got. One that's pretty wide with the
Oh,
quarter,
great.
and the other is just on freeze. I didn't get the. I remember you had a little thing to pull up the video. I don't remember. Oh, right.
They were showing me the video.
Yeah, I just adjusted a look at it too.
You're using Safari.
Oh, Safari.
I don't know if it'll make any difference. I don't know why it should.
Oh, it could definitely. Yeah, there you go. So, okay, so maybe there's like a plug-in.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe, yeah. Maybe it's, what do you call it? Java or something.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, good. So,
And I was playing with the lighting the other day. I was making it just a little bit brighter to match
yes. Yes.
this one's a lot brighter than this one. Whisper maybe.
This one's always a little blue,
Yeah.
and R2D2 is always a little yellow.
I wonder, there's got to be a setting in there. So
They're
figure out what we like and make it closer.
yeah.
If you actually, where would I deal with the words? I was hoping just to make them the same as each other.
Oh, we could do
I
that.
don't care whether it's root and pass or admin admin, but
Yeah, okay, we'll make
just
it
so I
the
don't have to
same.
remember.
Okay,
That'd be great.
okay. I'll change it on one or the other.
Okay.
So I'll figure out the easiest one to change it on. Probably R2D2.
We got a candle and everything up here. Looks like we're all set. Beautiful. I think we're good to go.
How did it sound up here with just the one speaker? Was it?
This morning?
Yeah.
I didn't notice.
Did it? Okay, good.
I mean, from where I sit, it's not really meant for me. So I didn't notice the lessening of it. Was it right in the middle? Or
Well, it's this speaker. There's two speakers. Here's one, and the other is right over here.
oh yeah, I see it.
That's the. This
Oh,
is the
they're
one.
pretty close to the center. I see.
This is the one I unplugged.
Uh-huh.
I had to move to the center so the screen didn't plug.
Got it. Yep. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And I thought you'd taken them both offline last night.
I want, yeah, because that kind of fills the middle.
That's great.
So I'm going to get two new speakers.
Perfect.
Well,
We're good.
thank God we got through the I mean, if you're a fan, you know.
At the rehearsal on Thursday, when it was cracking, like you heard, she was not happy.
Oh,
And
right.
I assured her that we will get this ironed out before Saturday. Not knowing if I could actually deliver on her promise, but
Hopefully.
sure enough, I think it was.
Because I literally went up there and heard it. And then I just.
I thought that was really funny. You just, and I obviously made fun of it last night. He's up there. I think someone could see you. I think they were pointing up at
I
you.
had my flashlight.
Oh, man.
What my favorite places, the organ. I'm trying to. There's a word for it. It's not the organ pit. It's like the
Loft.
organ. Oh, the loft.
Well, that's what I've called it. Organ
Yes.
loft is this. The organ pit was over there.
There. Yes. Yeah, the loft. I was gonna say the attic.
No, I would have understood what you meant.
The loft. Yes.
You saying that's one of your favorite places?
Not really.
No. No. I haven't been up there in like 10 years. When I first got here, I was curious and I climbed up there. There's an old wooden ladder that is still set up back somewhere.
That's what I was looking for yesterday.
We took it down because kids were climbing up there.
Yeah, that's a dangerous one.
Yes, it was. So I haven't been up there in a long time.
So how you doing? This is.
I'm good. Yeah, this weekend is the first of the big ones, and it's pretty non-stop. I just came from a wedding that I did over at Darien, and then tomorrow, in addition to everything going on here, we've got I've got an unveiling and then the cemetery service. So it's just long, full days. I allowed too much to creep on these days, but I'm feeling pretty well prepared at this point for the holiday. I am on track to get it done comfortably.
This is really stressful.
But I was talking with a buddy over the weekend, another rabbi nearby, and he was saying, but we do it to ourselves. Like, it's not, I mean, frankly, our sermons we could spend half the time on our sermons and people would still think they were good, fun. People would still say, best sermon I ever heard. After almost every service, someone comes up and says, Rabbi, that was the best sermon I've ever heard. Even though the ones are crap. And so, he's right, and we heap this intensely on ourselves. We have that 1 or 2 moments of the holiday where we got our biggest crowd and we want to try and make an impression for the year. It's not very realistic. So as I ease into my career further and further, I'm getting better about maintaining a little more equanimity, not letting it get me too worked up.
Father today at the bar.
One sentence in. That was funny. Yeah, I was feeling for him.
Yeah.
Same way for me, December. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a crier. No question. Right. Hey Diane, I saw you online a few minutes ago. Can you just either give me a thumbs up or put a little chat in the box if you're hearing us well enough? There you are. Thank you.
It's a little soft.
Original sound on. And I had to. You saw me do it this morning, and then I had to do it again.
I don't know why it doesn't stick.
I don't either. It's the weirdest thing. Yep.
Rabbi, can I share a secret with you?
Shabbat Shalom, everyone over in the social hall. I'll invite you to begin to make your way over to the sanctuary side, and we'll get started shortly.
For tonight. Okay, so we'll just say the names.
We don't do Shabbat.
You don't do Mishnah
Yeah, it's not a service.
Okay, that's
It's,
true. It's not. I should know. I have the entire service list.
Right. Not normally. It's not a service. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It's nice to hold on to for just a little bit longer. The rabbis instituted that Shabbat should last for 25 hours. One day, because they just wanted to err on the side of giving us a little extra. They cut into Sunday a little for that purpose. But it is time for us to begin to say goodbye and to leave Shabbat behind, but for the purposes of something even more special, because we haven't made it what it can be yet. So the possibility remains. I've been asked by a number of people, what is Selichot? What do you do? What is it for? I've never heard of it. And it's hard to, no, don't sit down. Sorry, I was just going to explain why.
You never know how long.
I know,
you're
I'm
gonna
so,
have to stand or sit.
it's a fair wager. I loved trying to put my finger on, or to come up with an elevator explanation for what Selichot is. But if you're here, you either know that it's meaningful to you, or you're opening yourself to a new experience. Either way, this is the return of something from a year ago, or the first time for what hopefully will be many, many times. But those moments, they command a shehechianu, a moment of acknowledgement that this is special. We've got our Havdalah candle lit. It's time to let go of Shabbat. But as I said, it's between this moment between the holiness of Shabbat and the holiness that we haven't yet created. You know, there's so many things to do with Havdalah that I can always use a little extra help. I wonder, Henry, would you help me with coming and helping with the spice holder? Do you want to come help? Elizabeth, do you want to come hold the wine? If you want to follow along on pages, everyone, it's on page 100. turn, if you would, to page 104. And this return that we are affecting is on multiple levels. So there is, of course, the return physically. You made your way here, whether you're here in person or virtually. You went through the steps necessary to be a part of what's happening. And then you kibitzed and enjoyed the small talk or the deep talk, and then you transitioned your mind. You sat down, you focused, you settled, and then spiritually, you're somewhere in the process of opening yourself up to an opportunity. All of those different levels have to be attended to for the highest potential to be realized in these minutes that we'll spend together. So on page 104, let's sing about how returning is about having something that we're hoping will happen and doing all the steps necessary to allow it to be possible.
Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are born and reborn again. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are born and reborn again. Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai Erecha. Hashivenu, Shuvah, return to the land of your soul. Return to the land of your soul.
In about 1995 or so, I went skydiving in Michigan, and it was not terrifying. It wasn't. I'm not an adrenaline junkie. It was an experience. Some buddies in college said, let's go skydiving. And I said, okay. I haven't gone back. Not because I was afraid, but because it had nothing for me. There was nothing there for me to build upon. I don't have any draw to have that experience again. I have other things that feed my soul, other projects that are worth my time and my energy, and I put my focus there. You returned. Why are you here? The next piece in the bottom of 104 might provide an answer, because you're building something. You're building within you, and you're building as a tribe who sees the potential in the world and who commits to being a part of the solution. You can't just stand by and watch. If you want it, you have to show up. You have to make it. So let's sing about the project that draws us back year after year. Israel, they seem to bring tension upon themselves in ways like this. Why would you build a supermarket whose aisles are barely wide enough for one cart? Of course you're going to instigate fights in the aisles, but before the fight ensues, when you're pushing your cart down the Supersole in Jerusalem and someone has stopped and is checking out the mayonnaise and you need to get past, you say, Slicha, excuse me, or forgive me. You try to get their attention in polite ways before you ask for what you need, which is to get out of my way. In this case, on the evening of Selichot, where we're offering our excuse me's to God, turn to page 107, and here we're now going to begin to ask for what we want. Pit huli, God, slicha, excuse me, could you open up the gates for me to allow me to enter? Page 113, as if to urge us to make the most of our time, the forerunner, the precursor who really gave us the foundation of thinking about our behavior as a reflection of our commitment to God, Bachya ibn Pekuda taught us these words. He said, days are scrolls. Write on them only what you want to be remembered. But we remember our weakness, and our days bear the mark of all that went wrong. On this night, we have hope in the one who sustains us. Though we stumble and falter, we say,
You
promise forgiveness. If we stray from the truth,
You do not forsake us.
If we sink to the depths,
Your mercy uplifts us.
if our urges betray us,
Your compassion is endless.
if we distance ourselves,
You do not disdain us.
if we abandon your teachings,
Still, you embrace us.
if we seek you sincerely,
Your presence surrounds us.
if we pray from the heart,
You listen with yours.
though we stumble and we falter.
We are blessed by your promise.
And on page 117. No, page 114, sorry.
Pick a page, any page.
Let's do 114, I really
Sounds
like
good.
that one, okay. Master of wonders, mother of souls, forgive the darkness in our hearts, our loss of hope. Pardon our distraction, our ears closed to the pleas of the poor, and lead us to atonement.
Masters of wonder, mother of souls, forgive us our circles of secrecy, knots of guilt, shame, and anger, webs of betrayal and greed. Pardon the pursuit of happiness that ends in worship of self and lead us to atonement.
Master of wonders, mother of souls, refuse to forgive our refusal to forgive. Release our grudges, hatreds, and feuds. Puncture our stubborn self-righteousness and lead us to atonement.
Master of wonders, mother of souls, forgive our vanity in a universe of awe, our complacency in a universe of need. Pardon our failure to thank, praise, and salute every soul and every star, and lead us to atonement.
Master of wonders, mother of souls, forgive us our disregard and insolence, our distance from loved ones and friends. Pardon our daily inattentiveness, our failure to notice that we fail to notice, and together we say,
And
lead us to atonement. On page 117. In today's world, we have transcended the theology of sacrifices. We read about it sometimes in our Bible study group on Shabbat morning, the belief in the old days that if you do this for God, then you can expect in return what you request or beg for. We know better. We know that it doesn't quite work that way, and yet behavior does have an effect. Sometimes we call it performative ritual. It's when we go through the act of doing something because we know that its doing will change us. This evening, Kolot is wearing, hi Kolot Sinai. I love seeing the new faces in addition to seeing all the familiar faces. Most of Kolot is wearing white. And it wasn't by coincidence. You know, we wear white on Yom Kippur. We use this color of bright purity to symbolize what we hope will be reflective of our behavior in the coming year. We can always improve upon that. And what we're about to do now is to engage in another performative ritual in which we change the Torah's clothes. Sometimes in religious school, I talk about how we all put on our fancy clothes for the holidays, and so do the Torahs. They have beautiful colored mantles they wear all year long until tonight. Tonight, they're getting dressed in their high holiday best, and they'll stay dressed that way until Simchat Torah, when we'll return them back to their year-round colors. So, what we're about to do in just a moment is we will rise to our feet, and then some of you, probably not all of you, but a bunch of you, will feel drawn to come on up to the bima. because you'll need to be a part of what's about to happen. In a cascade of hands, we will collectively take off the silver, which is beautifully polished, by the way. Thank you, Sisterhood led by Carol. We'll take off the silver, not getting any fingerprints on it, I promise. We'll take off the yads, we'll take off the mantles, and we'll replace them with the white covers and then back into their ark. It's a beautiful, quiet gesture that we do out of love and out of hope that it performs some effect on us. And so, we're on page 121. I'd invite you, if you're able, to please be upstanding in every sense of the word. And in thinking about these elders that reside right behind Cantor Micah and me, we rise now to honor them, our elders, from whom we have learned stories and lessons, with whom we have studied and worshiped and celebrated the passages of life and time. Our elders who have taught us goodness, honesty, and the sanctity of life, whose mantles are woven with threads of memory, embroidered with silver and gold, majestic folds of silk and velvet in hues of befitting their rank, as brilliant as the sun. We rise now to honor them as they put aside these everyday mantles of splendor and don their sacred garments, the vestments of purity and holiness, befitting the days of awe so soon approaching. Each, in its turn, is fitted with wimple, mantle, and crowns, each more stunning than the last. Majestic folds of velvet and silk to clothe the holy words, a canvas of purest white, as brilliant as the moon. The holy season has now begun, and the elders, in their yontif clothes, stand proud and tall before us, beacons of wisdom and light, reminders of the holiness we seek on this new day in this month of Elul. I invite you who need to, who are called to join us.
La 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 la.
think I was supposed to read this piece in the bottom of 121 now. The holy season has begun, and the elders, in their yontif clothes, stand proud and tall before us, beacons of wisdom and light, reminders of the holiness we seek on this new day in Elul. And on page 125, thank you. Thank you, everybody. You can be seated. Down towards the bottom of 125. There are those who struggle for a day, and they're good. And then there are those who struggle for a year, and they are better. But there are those who struggle for a lifetime, and they are the indispensable ones. What do we mean by struggle? What does it mean to struggle? I know I watch my kids grow, and when their bones are stretching in these growth spurts, it hurts a little bit. That's a little bit of a struggle. When we try to get them into new clothes because the ankles on their pants now look like flood pants, that is definitely a struggle. The physical elements of growth are a struggle as our bodies change. In some ways, maybe they begin to serve us better than they ever have before, and in other ways, they let us down in increasingly significant ways. Those are struggles. But I think the struggle we're talking about here is the inner struggle to grow towards the best version of oneself. It's the kind of work that Musar really is ideally oriented for, and that we focus on in this time of year when we slow ourselves down and we say, how did I do this year? We should have been asking the question all along, but we didn't. We got caught up in the excitement of responsibilities or hurdles of milestones and deadlines and whatever it was that took up all your attention this year. And so we arrive at this moment and we say, did I struggle enough? Was I a person who struggled for a day, a year? Am I struggling for a lifetime? To be a member of this family is to commit that we're not satisfied with who we are right now. We are perfect right now, and we're not satisfied with perfect. We can improve. We can always grow. And that growth comes from struggle. Learning leads to growth. Service leads to growth. Contemplation, maturation, the accumulation of wisdom, they're all elements of the struggle because none of them come easily. And so this year, may we struggle for more than we have. Allow us to put a little more of our attention and our energy into that place that we know is possible. And as we think about the ways that we missed our mark, we'll turn to page 128, and we will return to those familiar sounds and words that are buried deep into our Kishka and find their expression in the song notes from Kolot Sinai, and especially in that connection that our fist makes with our chest as we symbolically self-flagellate. We just beat our chests and say, yeah, we did these things. Ball up your fist, put it on your chest, and with us, recite these words.
Bagadnu
Zadnu, Chamasnu, Tafalnu Shaker. Ay, 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 ay. Yatznu Ra, Kizavnu, Latznu, Maradnu, Niatznu. Ay, 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 ay. Sararnu, Avinu, Pashanu, Tsararnu, Kishinu Oref. Ay, 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 ay. Rashanu, Shichatnu, Tiavnu, Tainu, Titanu. Ay, 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 ay,
Keep your hands right there.
We abused and abandoned on 128.
We acted without thinking. We blamed others when we failed.
We boasted and belittled. We coveted and corrupted.
We coerced the weak to do our will. We drove away those we love with silence.
We deceived and denied. We enticed and enslaved.
We exalted money and material goods. We fouled air, sea, and land.
We flattered and falsified. We gravitated to those who gossip.
We gave up our ideals and gave in to our impulses. We hated and humiliated.
We held grudges and refused to forgive. We ignored and idolized.
We insisted that we were right. We judged others rashly and wrongly.
We were jealous and unjust. We killed. We were knowingly unkind.
We kept to ourselves in the face of need. We lacked commitment to causes we espoused.
We were lazy and we lied. We missed the mark and minimalized our mistakes.
We mocked what we did not understand. We neglected those who depend on us.
We were negative and narcissistic. We overreached and overreacted.
Too often, erupting in outbursts of anger, we poisoned and polluted.
We perverted truth for personal gain. We quelled the voice of conscience within us.
We quit too soon and quarreled too often. We ridiculed and resented. We refused to accept help.
We rationalized our failings and our flaws. We spurned the wisdom of our tradition.
We squabbled and scorned. We talked too much or not enough.
We traumatized our children with anger. We issued ultimatums and made ugly threats.
We uttered untruths and undermined with cynicism. We were vain and vicious.
We vilified foreigners and strangers. We wasted time, strength, and talent.
We wallowed in self-pity, wished but did not act. We exploited and expropriated.
We expected others to save the world. We yearned for too much, for prizes and praise,
and failed to share fully in the joy of Zion reborn. On page 131. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, we stray and we sin, when we fail to make peace the highest good, and when we are silent in the face of evil. Together. When we forsake those who suffer far away, and when we shun the wronged and destitute among us. When we diminish God's
God's
image through violence or indifference, and when we fail to take care of those who depend on us, when we engage in slander or deceit, and when we distort the truth for personal gain, when we judge others rashly or unfairly, and when we stoke the fires of communal strife, when we fail to embrace Torah, the tree of life, to walk its paths and to make its ways our own, we stray and we sin when we offer no blessings, no words of thanks for the breath within us and for the wonder of being.
Am I there for those who need me? Giving of my heart completely. Have I been caring or have I been patient? Have I forgiven without reservation? Do I not take my days for granted? Treated others even-handed and shown compassion to the homeless stranger? Have I been humble before my Creator? Ve'al kulam, Elo haslichot ve'al kulam, ve'al kulam, ve'al kulam, Elo haslichot ve'al kulam. Have I tread lightly on the planet? Have I held fast to your commandment? And have I raised my voice against injustice? Have I been giving or have I been selfish? Ve'al kulam, ve'al kulam, Elo haslichot ve'al kulam, ve'al kulam, ve'al kulam, Elo haslichot ve'al kulam. Selach lanu, lecha lanu, kabel lanu ve'al kulam. Selach lanu, lecha lanu, kabel lanu ve'al kulam. Esa einai el heharim, me'ayin yamu esri me'im Adonai, osei shamayim va'aretz.
This year, the progressive Jewish world put out a whole collection, an anthology of material to be used in synagogues like ours across the world, and they are just gorgeous. That was the first of 3 that we're going to have this evening. You were the first to experience them. I'm going to be sending out an email to the congregation with a playlist for music for the upcoming holidays, but that's the first I've heard Sinai deliver that, and it's gorgeous. Let's continue on page 133.
Surely this mitzvah is not too baffling for you, nor is it beyond reach. It is very close to you, in your mouth and in your heart, together.
You shall not threaten the rights of the stranger or the orphan.
You shall not take a widow's garment in pawn. Remember that you were a slave in Egypt. Justice, justice shall you pursue, that you may live to inherit the land that Adonai your God gives you. You must not remain indifferent together. Keep and heed all that I instruct you. Thus it will go well with you,
and your children after you for all time. This mitzvah is very close to you, in your mouth and in your heart.
When you reap the harvest in your field and overlook a sheaf, it shall go to the stranger, the orphan, and the widow. You must not remain indifferent.
Life and death I have set before you, blessing and curse. Choose life, so that you and your children may live.
Blessed shall you be in your comings, and blessed shall you be in your goings. You must not remain indifferent.
And number 2 is on 134.
Shema Eloheinu Adonai Eloheinu Hu Serachem Aleinu Vekabel Berachamim Uvratzon Tfilatenu. Won't you hear our voice above all the noise and have mercy on our souls? We are in your care. Won't you hear our prayer and forgive us? Forgive us. Shema Eloheinu Adonai Eloheinu Hu Serachem Aleinu Vekabel Berachamim Uvratzon Tfilatenu. When we've lost our way, give us one more day to return to what is true. Won't you take us in so we can begin a new year? Won't you please hear? Shema Eloheinu Adonai Eloheinu Hu Serachem Aleinu Vekabel Berachamim Uvratzon Tfilatenu. Uvratzon Tfilatenu. Uvratzon
On 135, it's a relatively recent addition to the way of Jewish thinking that when the Torah says we were made in God's image, what that should mean is that we struggle to act like God. That when we behave increasingly like God, that is what we embody. That's how we embody that divinity. It's only, it was 1,000 years ago that we came up with this. It's like the other day. Back in the times of our ancestors, when they gave us the 13 attributes of God, which we'll offer shortly, it never occurred to them to try to act like that. God was not a model to be followed. That's the way we think of God now, but we take that for granted. When Bachya introduced this way, and then Rabbi Salanter developed it further, and now Alan Marinas teaches us that to lift our style of living higher and higher and higher is what it means to be created, Demut Elohim, in the image of God, B'Tselem Elohim, in the likeness of God. So on 135, imagine How our lives might be if everyone had even a bit more of the wisdom, a capital W, that comes from seeing clearly. Suppose people everywhere simultaneously stopped what they were doing and paid attention, for only so long as it took to recognize their shared humanity. Surely the heartbreak of the world's pain, visible to all, would convert everyone to kindness. On page 136, we're about to hear the third song that's new to us this year. It's a setting of these 13 attributes of God. We'll read them in English afterwards, but for now, if you're able, would you please rise? For it to make its deepest impact on us, let's read it in English. Adonai, Adonai, God, compassionate, gracious, endlessly patient, loving and true, showing mercy to the thousandth generation, forgiving evil, defiance, and wrongdoing, and granting pardon. Boy, I've got a long way to go. And now, on page 140, forgive us, Avinu, for we have sinned. Pardon us, Malkeinu, we have transgressed. For you are the one who pardons and forgives. Or maybe it's this way. Forgive us, Avinu, and pardon us, Malkeinu. And God replies, no, it's you. You are the one who must pardon and forgive. Forgive the ones around you. You're wasting precious time. Forgive your parents. Forgive your parents. They did the best they could. Forgive the one who betrayed you. Let go of anger and move on. Forgive yourself for your own imperfections. We're going to open the ark doors. Together, we're going to read the English on 141 of Avinu Malkeinu so that we can hear those deep-seated melody that speaks so deeply to us. Together, Avinu Malkeinu, Almighty and merciful, hear our voice. Avinu Malkeinu, we have strayed and sinned before you. Avinu Malkeinu, have compassion on us and on our families. Avinu Malkeinu, halt the onslaught of sickness, violence, and hunger. Avinu Malkeinu, halt the reign of those who cause pain and terror. Avinu Malkeinu, enter our names in the book of lives well lived. Avinu Malkeinu, renew us for a year of goodness.
Avinu Malkeinu, Chaneinu v'Haneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chaneinu v'Haneinu, ki ein banu ma'asim. Asay imanu, tzedakah v'chesed.
In a moment, we're going to hear the shofar. And our tradition is that upon the end of that Tekiah Gedolah, we will quietly bring the evening to a close. We won't engage in more kibitzing with people. We've worked hard tonight to get ourselves into this spiritual spot. And so, I'll ask that in silence, you will quietly return your books to the table and make your way gently, intentionally back to your vehicles and maybe just reflect on the way. Tekiah.